Welcome to a day in the life of a 7-figure Amazon seller, except today is different than most days because I'm in China to meet with suppliers and visit the Canton fair. This is not to be confused with your local town fair where they have sketchy Ferris wheels and hot dog eating competitions. The Canton fair is one of the largest trade fairs in the world with over 25,000 manufacturers showcasing their products and 250,000 visitors sourcing products or networking to grow their business. It's gonna be an exciting day today. So I'm gonna share what steps I took to grow my Amazon business to the point where it makes sense for me to be here and what the unique advantages are of actually meeting suppliers face to face rather than being like every other Amazon seller who only communicates through Alibaba. But most importantly, I'm gonna show you guys the thought process behind differentiating yourself from competitors so that you have a superior product and can rank on page 1 on Amazon quickly. Gavin and I ordered some barbecue pork rice. We're gonna crush this before getting ready and then we'll head out to the Canton Fair. By the way, I'm not going to be wearing that hoodie. If you don't know, it's about 28 degrees right now in China and it's only like close to 9 a.m. And for those of you who are coming across this video a little bit later, it's currently October right now. So if you're going to head to the Canton Fair, I'd probably suggest wearing shorts. I am wearing pants. It's well air conditioned inside, but when you have to register like we did yesterday, standing about 45 minutes outside, 30-degree weather, it might be worth it to wear shorts. Definitely bring water as well. And also here's a look at the badge that you get once you sign up. Gavin and I are headed out about 9:15. We'll probably get a coffee and then we'll head to the Canton Fair, which will take about 20 to 30 minutes. Quick taste test on the coffee in China. It's actually been pretty good. Yep, strong, good coffee. Just waiting on the car right now. Try to get the mic set up so the audio is a bit better, but yeah, just waiting on the car and we'll be there in 20, 30 minutes. One of the biggest reasons for coming to the Canton Fair not only is to find potential products, but also a lot for inspiration. And so I think today, out of the different categories they have, I'll probably be sticking to looking into the consumer electronics, and we'll go from there. This is day 2 at the Canton Fair, and yesterday we actually went around a lot of the different booths. We checked out consumer electronics, but more just getting a lay of the land. So today, hopefully we can take a further look, talk to some suppliers, and potentially actually find a product that we want to sell. If you don't want to get stuck in traffic on the way to the Canton Fair, yesterday we left around 8:30. Today we left around 9:30. Definitely taking a little bit longer. So if you want to save yourself some time, make sure to leave around 8:30. Another tip, if you want comfy shoes, wear what Gavin's wearing, not what I'm wearing. Here we are at Canton Fair. We're trying to figure out the audio right now with the mic. If you guys can't hear me, that's why. Hopefully we'll get it sorted in a few scenes here, and then we'll kind of get going on talking to suppliers, trying to find some products. Currently on our way to try and find a booth at the Canton Fair to try and ask and negotiate for a sample so we can use the mic so you guys can hear this audio. So we'll see how that goes. We'll try to negotiate with the supplier and see if they'll let us buy a sample. I don't think you can until the last day, but hopefully they'll let us. Hopefully my assistant Min can negotiate in Mandarin and try to secure us the sample. So here at the Canton Fair, I was trying to find a mic and trying to find a booth and a company nice enough to let us buy a sample. So I'm here at Boya, and they were nice enough to let us get this mic here. So we'll be using this for the rest of the day. So thank you to Boya. Definitely check them out. They gave me a bit of discount for making this video. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to the team at Boya. Appreciate it. So we're just in consumer electronics right now. I'm not sure exactly what I'm looking for, but I think out of the different categories that they have here today, probably the most intriguing one. So we'll try and find something that we can potentially sell. For bulkier items, such as whatever those were over there, they're cool to sell, and oftentimes the net profit on those can be good, but they're also a lot more expensive, right? So you have to think about the storage fees, obviously the cost of product, depending on your budget, and take that into account before you make a decision on a product. And that's literally just one section. Talked about this before, but similarly to negotiating with suppliers, say directly on Alibaba, you always want to leverage pricing against each other since there's multiple suppliers selling the same thing. So at the Canton Fair too, we can go to multiple different booths of different companies selling similar products and basically leverage the pricing against each other to get the best price possible. Couldn't find anything in the consumer electronics, so we're heading over to household electronics. Saw a couple of products yesterday, one of them being a reverse osmosis water dispenser, both one that you can install and also one for the counter. So I'm maybe interested in that just because it's something I'm into in terms of a category, just health and wellness. So we'll go to that booth and maybe talk to the supplier and see what kind of products they have, what the costs are like, and go from there. My assistant's stopping for a juice break.
Allow to introduce our new product, the Commute 1000. This is the commercial machine.
For they're like pet dryers, I assume?
Yeah.
What's cost on unit on this?
That's the FOB price for the $300 USD.
Okay, what's that? What's MOQ?
MOQ is 1,000.
Okay. Okay.
But like 1,000 will be 340 HiQ. So we can always go divided.
Right. Okay, interesting.
Right now for the pet store, pet products is really increasing and growing in Japan especially.
Are these these are the on-counter ones, and then you have ones that are installation as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Where are the installation ones? Do you have them here?
Yeah. This is the Wi-Fi. And
Oh, okay.
This adapter comes with the machine.
Okay.
So you can just connect the adapter and this is Wi-Fi, and you can put it all.
Okay. What are the specs on this one in terms of, because I know it's reverse osmosis. What else is involved?
This is just ultrafiltration. Yeah.
So for the pet product, that was the pet air dryer, $300 per unit for 1,000 on the MOQ. And something like that's interesting because although it is pretty expensive, if you up the MOQ, you're going to typically get a discount on the cost. The more you order, you get a volume discount. And I think for getting into the pet industry, it's good because there's obviously a ton of demand, but it's a lot of competition. So if you can find new products like that to kind of work your way into the niche itself and expand further down the line, it can be a really good opportunity. But I think that cost and the size of that is probably something that's maybe not going to be worth it for us or other people to sell on Amazon right in the beginning, just because of the fees and storage costs. So you need a pretty decent amount of capital. Or the water filter, it's also a similar story. It's not as big, so it's something you could get into. I've seen quite a few on Amazon and it does really well. I don't think it's extremely competitive yet either, and that's something would be more of a passion project for something like that. I don't know if I would sell that, solely relying on the data. And it's important to note that any product that you're going to get into, you don't just want to make your decision based on the products that you're seeing at the fair. If you come here, you always want to rely back to helium-10 to look at the actual data, right? Because we're not making emotional-based decisions, we're making data-driven decisions only. So if I find a product here that I like, I'm ultimately going to go back to helium-10 and look at the data. So honestly, a lot of the products I see here are more so for inspiration rather than like choosing and finalizing something here, because at the end of the day, you don't need to come here. Like, you can just rely on helium-10, which is what I do for most of my products. This is good for inspiration and just to connect with people and get the experience overall. For whatever reason, you'd want a moving shelf. By the way, for those of you who don't know what helium-10 is, it's basically a product research tool that allows us to look at the data of a given product. That way we can make data-driven decisions instead of emotional-based. We do have a discount code with them. We'll drop that in the description so you can get some money off on that as well. If you do decide to come to the Canton Fair, also make sure to look at the dates, because depending on what dates and what phase you come in, there's going to be different categories that they are going to be kind of showing throughout the fair. I'd say usually the last two phases, I believe, are probably the best. We're at the first phase right now. Best part about this one is probably the consumer electronics and electronics in general, but a lot of big machinery and automation and stuff like that, which isn't something you're probably going to be doing as an Amazon seller. They even have things like waterproof TVs in case you want to put your TV in the bottom of the ocean. It's important that when you are choosing products to sell on Amazon too, and looking at the products that we're looking at here, these are the base products that someone might end up buying, but we always want to make sure we do differentiate in some sort of way, whether that's adding a bonus item to provide more value to the customer, or actually improving the function or design of the product to make that product actually stand out from your competition. So you don't ever want to just sell the base product as is.
because that's pretty much what everyone's doing. That's what everyone's coming across, right? We're all looking at the same products here. One thing that is interesting about coming to the fair is that a lot of the products that they're selling here don't even exist in North America yet. So you can sometimes find opportunities that you potentially wouldn't find, or wouldn't be as obvious finding them on websites such as Alibaba. Now, with that being said, it's always somewhat risky to sell products that don't have historical data, because you don't really know if it's going to do well. But oftentimes you can just use your common sense. Like one of the products that we just saw was a food dispenser / disposable, and we know those exist, but the technology behind this one was a little bit different. It used heat and it grinds it up to grind it down into a powder, which reduces the size by up to 92%. So it's not, using up as much space when you're going to dispose your food. So always keep in mind that you want to look at the historical data, but this fair is going to give you the opportunity to come across products that may not already exist. It'll be a long day too, so we're going to go get some lunch. It's about 12 o'clock right now. I'll probably stay for a couple more hours and then we'll head out. Got a big food court here at the fair as well, so you can head in midday, get some eats, and then head back out and look for some more products. I ate a couple hours ago, so I'm not too hungry, but my assistant wanted to get some food, so we're gonna go get some grub, and then we'll head back out for a couple more hours.
So unfortunately, my audio cut out for a few minutes, so I'm gonna do a voiceover for these last few clips here, but we actually decided to wrap up for the day. We thought we'd head out again after lunch, but based on the products and the suppliers we spoke with yesterday, we're feeling like it's not really necessary to go back in. We got some good product ideas and spoke with a couple of good suppliers. So we're gonna head out, get some better food, and maybe find a nice restaurant and perhaps get a couple of drinks. I also want to mention that if you do decide to come to the fair, that it's crucial that you actually do your research on what phase you want to attend. Because I think for myself, looking into consumer electronics happened to work out well, but I probably would have preferred to wait for more of the home and kitchen items. Luckily, I found a couple potential products, so I'll run the data on Helium 10 to actually check out the potential of those products. Overall, I think this was a great opportunity, and I'm super glad that I attended. I'll very likely be back next year to connect with some more suppliers, but I'll likely check out a different phase just to look into some different categories. And it was pretty nice speaking with suppliers face to face and actually being able to see the products on hand, because it's pretty rare as e-commerce sellers that we get to do that. So I'd highly recommend it to those of you who want to get some more in-person communication, since basically all of it is done online through platforms like Alibaba. And so my three biggest takeaways are the following. Number one, there's a lot of opportunity for new products that may not be present within North America just yet. And so this gives you the ability to be the potential first to market for certain goods. And it's also rather overwhelming with the amount of products available to view. So plan your days out and know what phase you want to attend. Know what sections you want to look into. And I try and come for at least 2 days minimum. I probably saw less than half the products and I only went to phase 1. Number 3, connecting with suppliers in person definitely has its benefits. The nice thing is you can speak with them and negotiate right then and there, right? You don't have to wait for back and forth messages online, and so you can quickly get a feel for who you're working with as well, which plays a huge role in who you'll be finalizing as your supplier. So we're off to get some food and some drinks with our assistants. We might get a massage after as well. The nice thing here in China is you can get massages for extremely cheap, so we've been going every day almost. And thank you to our lovely assistants as well. We'll drop their WeChat numbers in the description below this video. So if you do end up going to China or the Canton Fair and you need some assistance, definitely hit them up. They're super awesome to work with, so thank you to them. Also, I think I found a couple of decent products at the fair, but instead of just making my decision based on what I saw there, again, I'm gonna go to Helium 10, I'm gonna look at the actual data of the product on Amazon, see if it's something worth selling, and then I can make my decision based on that. Gavin and I are headed to Tokyo tomorrow, and then I'm going back to Vancouver a few days after, and then we'll be doing a live seminar, probably November 26th in LA, so I hope to see you there. And perhaps I'll see you guys next year at the Canton Fair if any of you make it. All right, we've covered a lot today, and if you found this video helpful but you can't make it out to China, check out my video on how to find top suppliers for your Amazon business. I break down all the steps to help you lock in the best deals and scale like a pro.